Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Black Women Healing Podcast. As usual, we're going to start our pod off with a random question/scenario. So, I came up with this question and I'm wondering, would you rather explore life on other planets or life at the bottom of the ocean? Danica, what do you say?
I would rather explore life at the bottom of the ocean.
You sound unsure.
I am. Both of them are very, you obviously don't know. When I think of the ocean in general, I think of nobody technically has ever seen the entire ocean, no matter what, if you study it, you would never know how.
You really thought this out?
I mean, thinking of it now, I know somebody who used to watch Animal Planet all the time, and the water, y'all, is deep as shit. The ocean, you would never, no matter what, if you study, nobody's ever seen the entire ocean. And planets, obviously, the same. I guess I'm gonna say the ocean, but at the same time, I guess I couldn't swim.
All right, you think it's too hard.
I know. Okay. I choose the life at the bottom of the ocean. I don't know why. I just do. What about you, Isaac?
Oh shoot! I don't know. I'm not a fan of either.
Oh my gosh, you just gotta be different.
Yeah, none of those two places spark my interest. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I would explore life on another planet because I'm curious about what's going on in those other parts. But yeah, so thank y'all for tuning into this week's episode. As you heard, we have a special guest, Isaac. Isaac is a man of many talents. We shared that he will be coming back on to talk about his book. He is best known for setting a world record of 2.17 meters in the men's high jump T13 event at the 2017 World Para-Athletics Championship held in London. He also is a bronze medalist in the men's long jump T13 event. Outside of the track road, he enjoys motivating and speaking to kids, motivational speaking, spending time with friends and family, and his most recent love of writing various fiction books. Isaac can be described as caring, intuitive, inquisitive, and a life coach you never knew you needed. So, to start us off, on our last pod, we kind of already asked Isaac what influenced him to become an author, but we want to refresh you all's memory. The question is, tell us about your journey as an author and some of the influences that play a role in this journey.
All right, cool. Well, first and foremost, another great introduction. I love those introductions. It always makes me feel good when someone hypes me up like you do. But shoot, first and foremost, again, I'm happy to be here and share my little story on your platform. It's greatly appreciated. But my journey as an author, man, where do I start? I don't even it's hard for me to even realize that I am an author. When people say, "Oh man, you wrote a book, you actually published a book, you're an author, you're a whole author," I'll be like, "Dang, you're right." But yeah, right now, I'm enjoying the fact that I have this content out. The first book that I wrote, Guardians of Orisha, I've been getting amazing feedback and a lot of good affirmations from the book. You know what I'm saying? People are really vibing with it. Excuse me. And that's pretty much what I wanted to do, is just have something that people can, read and extend their imagination.
So dope to see Black authors, especially Black men authors. And so to have you on our podcast in the flesh, I think it's really dope to hear your perspective. So to kind of get us reflecting a little bit more, our latest episode, Myra discussed inspirations. And I know she used a Nipsey Hussle quote. And so I'm wondering, what inspired you to write Guardians of Orisha in specific?
That's a great question. At the time of writing Guardians of Orisha, there was a lot going on in my life and a lot going on around me. So I guess my inspiration was to just really let all the shit that I had going on out. And one of the ways that I found myself doing that was in the form of writing. So I was just inspired to just let all of my feelings out. And on top of that, a lot of my inspiration goes to change. I want to try to be able to change the narrative on a lot of things that's said about, you know, my people and just people in general. You know, we grow up with this idea that a certain group of people are going to act a certain way when you interact with them. And for me, you know, I don't fit the stereotype. There's all these stereotypes about, you know, what black men are supposed to be or how they're supposed to act and whatnot. And outside, you know, outside looking in, you probably be like, oh yeah, that's a nigga right there. You know what I'm saying? I have my hair, how I have my hair. I wear my clothes, how I wear my clothes. But when you talk to me, it's just like, dang, I never thought that he would be, you know, this type of person. You know what I'm saying? So I try to create, I want to inspire change, you know what I'm saying? Change the way you think and all of this other good stuff. But yeah, that's my inspiration. Inspiration is just being able to change something and influence people in a positive way.
And I'm thinking like, yeah, inspiration is great. Like technically we have inspiration for pretty much everything, even sometimes when we don't know it. So to hear you kind of elaborate on yours, I think it's pretty dope. Thinking of your book, like, do you have a favorite part of your book?
Yeah, I actually do. My favorite part of the book is probably like the little corny punchlines. There's like just little small things that give you an idea of my personality, even though I feel like my personality is in every character, but a real sense of my personality is in the punchlines, and that's what I kind of enjoy the most about the book.
So your excuse me. So your characters, Lena, Shauna, and Toya, all have really strong personalities. Can you tell us how you are able to come up with these specific personalities of these women that are so different?
You know, that's a great question. I'm actually happy that you asked that question because that was something that I've been thinking about. And on my other writings that I have, just little prompts and stuff, I like to think that my characters are actual people that I've encountered, which, you know, for the most part is very true, that a lot of my characters are influenced by, you know, my interactions with other individuals. But honestly, I want to say all the characters that I do come up with are like pieces of myself. And I had to really think about it because I do heavily relate to Toya. That was a stage in my life where in college, I find myself being involved in so much, whether it be track, fraternity, BSU, helping out the youth. That was what I was in college. Lena, you know, was a stage in college where I was practicing Buddhism and trying to learn about Buddha and whatnot. And so that was a part of my life. And then of course, Shauna, I'm always feeling like a fly nigga. So, you know, that was a point in my life where, you know, I was always getting, you know, I was fresh and I was hiding behind my clothes and just really trying to present myself in a way where women would receive me by, you know, the shit that I had. So, and then even with, you know, Ogun, I'm still trying to find my manhood, you know, and even if I go all the way back, like I felt like in my teenage years, I was a young Ogun, just hypnotized with certain identities of what masculinity was, and knowing that I wouldn't be able to capture what the world would consider masculinity, and I had to go on my own journey to find what I believe masculinity to be. So all the characters are essentially, you know, of course, you know, the image of the woman is definitely something that I got from women that are in my life, but the true core of my characters, especially when you get into the second and third series of the book, you're going to get a more idea of who these people are. And all the characters have pieces of myself. So you're gonna see that in the next series of books.
Thank you for sharing that. So you share a little bit about yourself and how you kind of tie into the book. Can you share with us how this writing has helped you with your personal life and/or your mental wellness?
Yeah, really, writing is another outlet to express myself, and I know that's corny and cliche, and everybody says it, but it's very true. Um, I used to be so one dimensional. You know what I'm saying? My only focus was, being a professional athlete. And thanks, and I know this may sound bad, but thanks to this quarantine, it gave me time to slow down and to really understand myself and different facets of myself. And this is one of the pieces of myself that I'm enjoying. And it just gives me, because I think a lot. So to be able to think my thoughts out on paper and then turn it into, comedy or something that, helps someone else get out of a situation, that's my therapy. It's just, being able to write my shit out and not be thinking of this shit all the time, because that shit be taxing, man, just thinking all the time.
So, yeah, and I don't think that's wrong with it. I think it's actually awesome that you've been able to use the quarantine to, dive into these other creative outlets that you have. No pressure though to anybody. I think right now, you get to choose how you want to utilize your space. And I think the way you've used yours though is pretty awesome, because we get to read this book. But yeah, you do hear a lot of times that writing is a part of people's outlet. So with all this being said, Isaac, what would you say your takeaway would be for our listeners? I know today was pretty much a book review that we're trying to do every month on Black Women Healing Podcast. But in specifics for your book and for this episode, what would you say your takeaways would be?
Honestly, y'all got some good questions. Y'all really, exercising my mind right now. But the one takeaway I would really say it was a post that I posted on Facebook kind of a few days ago, and it came from just reflecting as a kid. And as a kid, I wanted to be all these things. I wanted to be an NBA player, a cop, a football player, a fireman, astronaut, all this shit. I wanted to do all these things. And as I grow older, I wanted to be more things, but it was different from what I wanted to be as a kid. When I hit my teenage years, I wanted to be a ladies' man. I want to be a rapper. I want to be Chris Brown. I want to be all these things as a kid.
Chris Brown.
Not Chris Brown.
Chris Brown, he was the man.
He was,
you know what I'm saying? Everybody, especially me, I'll be if it wasn't Chris Brown, it was Usher. I was dancing to, trying to be like them niggas. You feel me? And trying to capture this identity and stuff. And then I grow older, and then I start to want to be different things. Now, I want to be the best track athlete in the world. I want to be a world-renowned author / creative director and all of this stuff. And all of this is just to say, right? And it goes to the quote that I had just put on Facebook. And it was you'll never be everything you want to be. So just be happy with what you're going to be. You know what I'm saying? And it's accepting the fact that you're not going to capture everything that you set out to be. You know what I'm saying? But we can't ignore what we already became and what we're going to become, because that is just the beauty of life and whatnot. And that's what I'm going through with this book, is with my writing, is hopefully that with everything I put out there is giving someone an opportunity to, one, exercise their mind, give yourself a break from reality, and just understand the true meaning of accepting yourself and being who you are instead of trying to be what you want to be. You know what I'm saying? We all want to be something. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, and we kind of ignore who we truly are. So, with my writings, I hope to allow people to accept who they are and to embrace who they are. And that's the only takeaway that I'm trying to give.
Thank you for that. So we thank y'all for tuning into this week's episode. Donika, do you have anything that you want to share before we start wrapping up?
Yeah, what Isaac is saying, Isaac is over here giving us all the gems today. He pretty much just said, be yourself. and let that come out. Don't try to hold back. And I love that. Like, yes, be yourself. Let those true, like, artistic creations come out, and like you can do that. So no, I absolutely agree with what Isaac is saying. Going into like our next little segment, as y'all can see, we've been doing my nose stopped.
As y'all know, we've been doing a book every month. So our book for next month, we will be reading Not All Black Girls Know How to Eat, a story about bulimia by Stephanie Covington Armstrong. And I'll put that in the show notes so you can easily find it. Thank y'all for tuning into this week's episode of Black Women Healing Podcast. And be sure to tell a friend and tune in next week.
Oh, DJ.